Hey guys, this is Justin Bob 100 here, and here is a little kind of requested video. A member on Jigman's Village requested me to do an explanation video for my level My Life. So I'm just going to go through, but please note, a lot of this is kind of a general sense and not like literal. Like, I didn't literally go to a desert or just like a random factory or whatnot. Like, you'll see, and I'll explain it. Not everything means something, but for the most part, it does kind of represent my life, and I'll show you. Alright, so the beginning, when the players fall into the water, water kind of represents kind of like the birth or new life, and the flower really is that new life, and it's kind of an innocent thing, as seen with like the grass around it, the little water trickling down, the valley of life or whatever, and then the innocent cloud in the background, and it's pretty calm, and this just represents the innocence of birth, really, and how it's really just clean slate. I mean, it's what it's all about. And then I guess these rocks kind of represent like fingers, like a baby's fingers, or like kind of like coming to life, I guess, and realizing that you are living. Because when you're younger, you don't remember you were younger, like when you were a baby. When you get older, it's like, yeah. So the hills kind of represent a heightened sense of reality, although everything is still kind of black and white in perspective. The fence represents kind of like childhood and as a toddler playing like during recess or whatever in school. Kind of these little restrictions in how life is kind of fenced off at this point, and you're not exposed to everything. Bush and a cherry, I don't know, I really liked Pac-Man when I was growing up, so I guess the cherry represents Pac-Man. This really doesn't have any significance to it though. Alright, and then like the hills start getting a lot bigger, and this represents like growing up and huge changes in life, like especially when you get into like grade school and whatnot. There's like, you have to make decisions like, okay, am I gonna jump from here? Yeah, here's gameplay significance. Or am I gonna just fall down and see what happens? That's kind of what this represents. And then, okay, this part's actually kind of important. This represents kind of a heightened feeling, like everything is good, you're just in this paradise, when everything, when you're younger, seems so much bigger and really cool, and like the bridge and the huge spikes, you feel like you're kind of high up in life. And that's what it seems like when you're looking back at it too. And then you start going down, and you end up in a desert. Now, to me, a desert represents kind of like isolation-ish. So that's what I felt like with this, kind of like isolation from people and friends or whatnot. And cactus and the pyramid really have no significance. They just look cool. A monster, this kind of just represents a little challenge in life. Like, you see it, and it's annoying then, but you overcome it. But then, to kind of deal with this isolation, we get into technology, and this represents kind of like the technology and how it was a big factor in my life. Video games, phones, videos, you know, that kind of thing. Kind of the norm nowadays. Just a lot of technology to escape this isolation. But a lot of this stuff in here doesn't really have much of a symbolic meaning, it's just technology. And then, oh no, the technology isn't working anymore. It's not like, it doesn't make me feel good anymore, because now I realize I'm depressed and sad, and that's what this snow kind of represents. Because during the wintertime, a lot of people report that they feel pretty sad and depressed, so I use winter to represent that. It can also show even more isolation from people. Yeah, it's like with the mountains, it just keeps going, never-ending kind of feeling, kind of hopelessness that you're so small compared to all this stuff around you. Is what that feels like. And then the mountain, it's a freaking mountain. I mean, it doesn't really have significance to it. Yeah, I'll just, this is just gameplay stuff. Doesn't have any significance. But this next part definitely has significance. Alright, right here you see this giant snake. And what this snake represents is kind of a big obstacle in my life, which was like becoming more social and breaking out of my shell or whatnot. And that's what this snake is. This is a huge challenge that you have to overcome, or that I had to overcome. But I was able to get through it, and while I don't forget all this isolation and bad stuff that's happened in my life, as seen by, like, you not finishing in paradise, I mean, you're still in this snowy part because it's still somewhere in your mind, but it's not the reason, like, you can't look at it kind of as a thing like, oh, this ruined my life. No, it's more of a, kind of a, almost helped me in a way to see a different perspective on life. And see, like, wow, this feels awful to feel this way, and I know how to deal with it and help others deal with the same thing. And yeah, and then my name. That represents my username. No, okay. So yeah, that's that. That's the interpretation of my level. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's what you thought it was or not. I did definitely have this plan, though, as I was going through. I didn't just randomly throw in some stuff. But yeah, that's the interpretation of my life. If you guessed this interpretation, good job. If you did not, okay. So have a nice day, JVers.